Stretching out before we go.
Panago Pizza presents the Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
I have a tweet to start the show, gentlemen.
I want to hear it.
A tweet.
I want to read it.
A tweet.
Tell me what a twiz.
Scott Murray. Scott Murray is a listener of the show. He's on vacation in Disneyland in California, which is great.
That's very nice.
There's a lot of our listeners who actually live near Disneyland.
I have been there.
Who I doubt they even go. Like I bet if you live close to Disneyland, you don't go.
Well, it's like how many times have you been to the CN Tower?
Right.
Like
4 times.
Less than half a dozen times?
Yeah. So he's like, I'm at Disneyland in California. So many Jays hats. So that's great.
I believe that.
And he's like, and I look up, and no joke, a dude walks by in a Saskatchewan Roughriders shirt. I'm like, dude, everywhere. If you go to Disneyland, I would think you would have a better chance than seeing it in Disney World. Although I was at a Marlins game.
Dude,
and
take a random trip to Laos and just walk around the streets of Laos.
And somebody's got to be wearing the Rough Riders jersey.
They got to be. Magnitogorsk, Russia. There's going to be all kinds of Malkin, Magnitka stuff. Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
Guy with watermelon on head.
Yes, and guy with watermelon on head. Because.
So, did you know that Adam Larsson's Oilers... Adam Larsson's Oilers, Jesse.
Mm-hmm. I thought we were going to start with other news.
Adam Larsson's Oilers.
No, but this news is funnier.
This is better. Adam Larsson's Oilers.
Whose?
Not Taylor Hall's Oilers. Adam Larsson's Oilers.
Oh, Mark.
Not Connor McDavid's Oilers. Adam Larsson's Oilers.
Mark.
Won last night in Anaheim with 2 goals from...
Who? Connor McDavid.
Adam Larsson.
What?
Yeah, including one off the rush. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Wow.
That erases any sort of any argument that trade was lopsided.
I read a funny tweet today. Okay, this is from Adam Lascaris. These are the 5 defensemen in the league who put up 19 points this year. Larsson's closest comparable is literally Matt Hunwick.
Wow.
And the comparables he has are Trevor Daley, Cody Franzen, Matt Hunwick, Ben Hutton, to go with Adam Larsson.
Now, that's just points.
That is just points. I mean, that's not really fair.
When it comes to shot suppression, like shots conceded, he's a top 2 defenseman. But in every other, I had to look at it. In every other category, he's like points, like getting points, he's a bottom 3. And everything else, he's sort of like a mid-range guy. But he led the league in hits. So
did he?
Or he was 6th in the league in hits, sorry.
I mean, Luke Shen led the league in hits, I think.
Yeah, and his Corsi is like 50 on the dot. So
that's fine. I mean, look, I don't think the argument is he's a bad player. And Oilers fans, I got a few really good messages this morning. Like, why is Adam Larsson paying for this? Like, it's unfair that Taylor Hall is, but like, why is Adam Larsson?
He didn't do anything.
Paying for this. Yeah, but like the fact that people are calling them the Adam Larsson Oilers, has nothing to do with Adam Larsson. He had one very good game, but it's so. And forgive me for generalizing people, but it's so delightfully Edmonton that the number one topic this morning was Taylor Hall. Why? There's no need. How come?
You've already moved on, but your top writer, Mark Spector, and he's a Sportsnet guy and a nice guy.
Who would come on the show, I think.
Absolutely, we should have him on. I disagree with him strongly on this one. They're not Adam Larsson's Oilers, but he also knows how to get people's attention.
I like Elliot Friedman's tweet that seemed to be pointed, but wasn't, and you could never prove it. He just goes, this was Adam Larsson's first career 2-goal game. I mean, he's a defender.
Right.
Defenders don't really have 2-goal games.
Yeah.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, the number one story this morning should be the Oilers
won. And won decisively. And really, they gave up a 2-goal lead and still won. 11
wins shy of the Stanley Cup. They're the closest team to the Stanley Cup right now. Them and Nashville.
Good point. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Good for them.
It is pretty neat.
And it is, I mean, like, listen, there's not a person sitting at this table that isn't excited for Edmonton. Like, I might have picked Anaheim, but I'm still excited for them. You're wearing their colors today.
I am. I didn't even notice that.
You are Oilers colors today, man.
You are also wearing Ducks colors, to be fair.
That's true. Because the Ducks have decided that they're going to take every color in the National Hockey League and make it their own.
And Islanders next season, because you can't tell them what to do.
I was saying to Jesse, Doug Waite was on the phone for, I think, a Bob McCowan interview.
Okay.
And they had, you know how they splash, they tag them, right? They put splash their name and their picture across it. And they had the Islanders logo and that orange in the background. I'm like, you could replace Edmonton and
it'd be the
New York.
same
It'd be the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Where was I going to go with that? The reason I'm not that excited about the Edmonton Oilers, and I was talking to an unnamed writer about this last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I talked about Capitals fans being very nice? And they have historically been nice to me, and this season they were nice to me. Oilers fans per capita. Holy shit, guys. They've just been awful this season. Can I just say it?
Yeah,
they've been brutal to argue with. Like, everything is a fucking argument. Everything. And I'm like, I like you. I've said historically I like you. I wrote an article that was like, as a Leafs fan, congrats Oilers. I'm super happy. And all the comments were, we don't need your fucking validation. And I'm like, okay, sorry.
Wow.
Good luck.
There is. And
good luck in the playoffs.
I don't even care. I'll stand behind this. There's a bit of a small man syndrome going on there.
A bit.
And I don't understand it, but when I lived in Alberta, all anybody could tell me was every time Alberta was better than Ontario at something, they pointed it out.
Oh, Edmonton.
Like, I don't know why. And I'm like, listen, I know that my province where I'm from has shortcomings. I also lived in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
I don't see you ripping Nova Scotia apart.
Edmonton is just one Bugs Bunny character just strolling through the prairies going, put him up. Like, I don't get it. But I said something this morning and Jesse didn't like it. Oh, he came to life. Did you see him animate?
Are you going to read your tweet?
I think you should. Because I want you to read it the way you think I said it. Because I think I said it in a voice like this.
I didn't know you were upset about it.
Well, I disagree with it.
Well, Adam, he said, can we talk about this on the show? And then he gave me A and B, and A was fuck you.
Oh, so, okay, fair enough.
Have you read this tweet?
I have read it. I was looking at your conversation while spooning my dog. So
I'm glad you said your dog and not yourself or anything else.
I thought, okay, well, yes.
Steve Dangle, at Steve_Dangle on Twitter. You're at the beach. It's busy. It's very hot. You're thirsty. A guy is selling water bottles. They're $20. You pay and drink. Good deal?
Sounds like a Blue Jays game.
Yes.
And then you followed that up with, you got totally ripped off. You also got something you needed and feel much better. Also, this trip to the beach happened 10 months ago.
So I take that as I thought that was a well-written metaphor.
Most people said so.
My favorite reply to that was, and you forgot to mention that you're leaving going home in 20 minutes. Which I think is a good response, right? Like you didn't have to, in that context, with that person writing that, you didn't have to get the water bottle. Is that your argument?
One, I disagree with your entire premise.
Okay.
Leave the damn beach, first of all.
Okay.
Go get some water somewhere else.
Uh-huh.
So is your argument the Oilers should have never done this trade?
No. Completely outside of the Oilers. Your metaphor is just wrong.
Oh, you're talking about actual in real life if you're at the beach.
Your metaphor is just incorrect.
Well, Jesse, it's fucking Twitter, and there's only 140 characters.
You're also ignoring that the fact there's a huge body of water right there.
Drink it. No, it's the ocean. It's Lake Ontario.
No, it's not Lake Ontario. It's the ocean.
Three-eyed fish swimming all around you.
No, the ocean. You can't drink salt water, man.
But salt water, no.
You can't drink salt water.
No, I know that.
Okay.
So I'm saying Lake Ontario, it's fresh water, but glowing.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's a little different.
Turn your feet purple.
Or you're in the Pacific, or you're in the Atlantic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
or the metropolitan ocean.
You can't leave right away. You're there with 4 kids. You just got there, and you drove 3 hours to get there. You're not leaving this beach in 20 minutes, but you're dying of thirst. You need water. Guess what? $20 a bottle, stupid. But I didn't have enough characters for that.
The Oilers could have walked away from the beach.
Could have walked away from the beach, but now they have this water that they paid a lot of money for, but they have this water, and now they're enjoying their day at the beach.
See, to me, it's akin to a little bit more than the bottle of water.
Thank you.
I would say it's like, give me your $300 Ray-Ban sunglasses. Cause you know what I mean? Because at the beach, you want to shield yourself from the sun, right? And to me, it's far more expensive to the Oilers to give up Taylor Hall than a bottle of water.
Wait, what are you talking about now? I don't.
In retrospect, if Adam Larsson wins the Conn Smythe Trophy, it's a good trade.
He will not, but
it'd be a good trade.
Well, he scored 2 goals last night, so clearly he's about to go on a tear.
Right now, him winning them a playoff game makes it a okay trade.
The Stanley Cup is the kind of fuck you in the whole thing.
Exactly.
I still stand by the fact that the Bruins gave up far too much for Thomas Kaberle in 2011.
Doesn't matter.
The cup. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. So there it is.
So I think
we're also in round 2.
This gives the Oilers way too much hate, undeserved hate, because they're winning.
No,
and he won them a game in the playoffs.
Well, I'm saying you quenched your thirst, which is more credit than a lot of people.
I think you said it snarkily in terms of
and deservedly
look
so.
How much you paid for that water?
You know what though? That
was my fuck you.
Conversation underneath was actually great because a lot of people were like, "Well, you should have prepared better. You should have brought your own water to the beach," which I assume would have been you should have drafted better and you should have prepared and. Maybe got a defenseman or two before you needed to trade Taylor Hall.
Let's not be honest.
Absolutely. And other people were like, well, that's what the water costs there. Supply and demand. Do you want it or not?
Well, and that's the part that has always got me about this. That is not what the market was last summer.
They would argue it was.
Cool. That's not what the market was last summer. If the PK Subban Shea Weber trade is what the market was last summer, that was not the market.
The comparison I still like the most is Ryan Johansson for Seth Jones. That to me seems a lot more.
That's fair. 1 for 1.
Yeah.
What if you had gone to Nashville and said, "Hey, for Shea Weber, we'll give you Taylor Hall"? Tell me they don't take that.
They wouldn't have. They wouldn't have. I don't think they would have. Plus,
they need somebody to replace Taylor Hall's production, which PK does.
Yeah. Well, no, I think the Predators wanted someone to replace.
Okay,
sorry.
Tell me Montreal doesn't take it.
Taylor Hall for PK?
Yeah.
No way.
No.
Why not?
No way. I get because they want that defenseman. There's a reason they were traded for each other.
Yeah, that's what I mean about replacing the production. That's why he went for PK and not for.
All right. Well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just listen. The thing is, and my favorite part of Mark's article. And again, I'm calling him out on this one. Is that
he doesn't care?
No, I know. I know, and I know he would come in here and laugh about it. But
that is one beauty of people from out there. They're just like, yeah, and don't like it. Guess what?
Guess what? F you.
Who cares?
No. My favorite part of the article was I think 3 or 4 paragraphs in. He goes. The hockey nerds don't like it because their statistical models are not advanced enough to account for the qualities that Adam Larsson brings. And I was like, bingo, that's why the internet's on this. Because he went after them and he went after them like that. You are not smart enough to understand what us old guys already get. And listen, man.
And hey, let me be the first person under 40 to say this. Good on Mark.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
Because he's just literally click mining.
Do you want me to read? Do you want me to read the quote?
Yeah, read the quote.
He upped the hits on that article by 100,000 with that.
Just paragraph. With that. Oh, seriously. It's great.
The stats geeks, he's geeks instead of nerds.
Oh, sorry.
The stats geeks still hate the Hall trade. The reason? Because their craft isn't far enough along at this point to quantify the qualities in Larson's game that makes Edmonton better.
See, now that I was on.
Conduct a poll of 200 hockey men, and it might be unanimous. Edmonton got what it needed in that deal, and giving up Hall was well worth it.
Why are there bad teams? There's all these really brilliant hockey men. And I just don't understand.
200 of them.
That would be most of them, I would think. It's not a big group.
Is this all Colorado has to do is get good hockey men? I thought Joe Sakic was a pretty good hockey man. Is he not?
Well, Jared Bednar is a good enough hockey man to keep his job. By the way, that was confirmed this week.
Well,
and so was Joe.
So what's the problem?
Well, I mean, I think
why wasn't Arizona very good? What's up with their hockey? Oh, but they have a stats nerd at the helm.
That's the problem.
They have a stats. Well, what about the Vancouver Canucks? Trevor Linden? Is that not a good hockey man? Jim Benning, I heard on the radio, is one of the better scouts in the game. He's a good hockey man.
You know what Jim Benning's not doing?
What? Being a good hockey man?
No.
How dare you?
What's he not doing?
Playing in the playoffs?
Scouting.
It was scouting, yeah. Hey, John Ferguson Jr.
That's
I still think is a pretty decent scout.
That's like saying I'm really good on the radio and working in an auto parts department. like they're just GMing and scouting? Different, man.
I just
different. Sorry, it's different.
But again,
I don't care that he's a great scout. Is he a great GM?
Yeah. Mark, I would say this to Mark as lovingly. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, look, when it comes to the research, you don't know what you're talking about.
He probably knows. He probably does.
He knows that, but he'd be like, I know.
But he's like, here, I'm going to set the world on fire, and
it's not a terrible strategy. Like,
no,
there are far more inflammatory things that people say. And all he literally said was the same thing people have been saying for 5 years, and it still works. Why would anyone stop saying it? Why would anyone stop saying Stats Geek? What? 100,000? I'm not kidding you. Probably, I haven't seen the numbers, but probably added 75 to 100,000 clicks to that friggin' article.
And it's like, written with enough cheek. It's like you could take it seriously, but you could hear Mark Spector going, ha, ha, ha.
Like, I've seen some of the stuff behind the curtain that maybe I shouldn't have seen at Sportlogic. Andrew Berkshire showed me. I cannot imagine how long it takes to track one hockey game.
Oh my goodness.
The stuff they know and the stuff they track and the very practical, like the stuff I'm like, that makes sense. I didn't know there was a stat for that. You track that? Holy shit. The stuff they track is so base level hockey and base level defense in a lot of ways, which is the main defense of Adam Larsson. It would blow your mind. And I would love to know if he's ever seen this stuff. I don't know.
Well,
I don't think he has. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't need to.
Yeah, because for his job, what's his goal?
Get
people to read the damn article.
Let's say the Oilers win the cup. You got 11 more wins of that. And it won't just be Spector, it'll be all of them.
What's the other guy?
And then if they win the cup, guess what? A summer of that and an entire following season of that. Which is why I'm like, I don't know. The reverse, I kind of want the Predators to win.
I kind of want the Predators to win too.
Oh, are people just going to be insufferable if PK wins?
Oh, yeah.
People are just going to... We all know it's coming. Like, I will drive to Montreal to take a picture of PK with the cup at the hospital. On my phone. Like, I want it. I want to see it. You know it's going to happen. He's not bringing the cup there.
They should have the parade near Mark Bergevin's house. Just out front.
And just hang out, just bathe in his bird bath on his front lawn with the cup over your head.
Like, Mark Bergevin does seem like the kind of guy who might have a bird bath.
Rent one of those trucks.
A nice bird bath.
Rent one of those trucks where the side of the truck is a TV and just have it be your face and also be the driver or stand on top of it and just hold the cup.
Honestly, it would
hold your own parade after the Predators.
It would just be hilarious if there was a car parked out front of Bergevin's house with a big screen TV like that with just the loop of PK lifting the cup for the first time.
Oh,
just the loop, have it there for a couple weeks.
You're PK Subban, you make $9 million. Have the Stanley Cup parade in Nashville, and then the Predators should have another Stanley Cup parade in Montreal. Like, imagine. So, it does go both ways, guys.
I have Nashville in my bracket, but I got to say, for Oiler fans, and we have a lot of really good ones that follow us, and we've been struggling together for years. I am behind you. I love you. Even though I said, listen, I picked with my head with my bracket.
I met so many good ones when I was there. And
I picked with my head with my bracket.
There's always the buts. Some of them are insufferable.
Yeah. I'm sure some of the fans are insufferable. Yeah. I mean, I met some of them in the bathroom at Real Sports. Oh, good God.
Oh, I know.
Somebody actually was tweeting me at Game 5 of the first round and saying, because people were, because the Leafs lost and went down 3-2, and someone was like, "Well, that's it. They need to bench Mitch Marner.
I know.
Get Josh Levo in there." And I tweeted him back and I said, "Listen, man, I understand you're upset. However,
when are they going to trade Jake Gardner?
It doesn't make sense to bench your team's third leading scorer."
Yeah, but
after
you tried to explain this to him. Why? Why, Adam?
And then he said,
why would you argue with that?
And then I said, I don't care. He said, I don't care. And I said, he's also third on the team in scoring in the playoffs.
No.
In the playoffs.
You still went on.
He's
wow. Adam, the earth is flat. Tell me I'm wrong.
But it's not. It's round.
No.
We have spaceships, and they go out there. We have a Canadian who sang David Bowie in space.
Who's paying you to tell me that? Because someone's clearly paying you to tell me that.
Did George Soros pay you to...
Are you getting that monthly check from Soros? Because clearly you are if you don't think the earth is flat.
It's from the Lizard Rothschild family, actually.
The Lizard Rothschild. Again, it's what the hell was his name? There was a Canadian paleontologist who went on the Joe Rogan Experience. And he watched a video of a dinosaur truther. Did you know that these people existed?
You know what? Maybe a couple years ago, I'd have been surprised. I'd have been surprised a couple years ago.
Yeah, 100%. Dinosaurs are fake. And he watched it, and he's going through why all this guy's arguments are bad. And I'm like, you just took up 45 minutes of a paleontologist's time. You know how valuable... Trevor Vail. That's his name.
Trevor Vail. Okay.
I think he might be from here.
Bill Nye
argue with people who want to bench your third leading scorer.
Okay, and to your point, Bill Nye got pissed off because CNN brought him on and didn't tell him that they were going to have a climate change denier on as well.
And so you're wasting Bill Nye's time.
Yeah, and Bill. So he's like, why would you even give a platform to somebody?
Exactly.
It's so ridiculous. It's true.
But we saw it.
Hey, B.O.B.'s a flat earther. Who's B.O.B. the rapper?
Oh,
airplanes.
I know.
Could we pretend that airplanes don't hook around the earth?
Oh man, the airplanes guy. Or are they a band? Who's the singer?
It's B.O.B. This is the airplanes guy because it was Haley Williams.
Single note in that song, but yeah, let me. Yeah, please tell me about.
Hey man,
Flat
Eminem
Earth.
featured in that
Can't
song.
even tell me about music, let alone Flat Earth.
Eminem.
There are several singers who you listen and they don't hit a damn note.
Well, he's not a singer; he's a rapper.
Yeah.
Wait, no, who's the singer in that song?
Haley Williams.
Haley Williams
From Paramore.
What?
Dude, she's a great singer.
She's terrible in that song.
Hold on. How is Steve just realizing that Haley Williams
are you
was
sure?
in Paramore?
Are you sure we're talking about the right airplanes here? You're talking about MIA.
I could really use a wish right now.
Yeah. I think you're talking about MIA.
Terrible in that song. But Paramore's good.
Why? Where are you? Where's this coming from?
Are you sure?
It's like,
where have you been?
It's like
for
Louis
8
D,
years?
her in that song, everyone else.
But where have you been?
I don't know. I don't listen to Adam when he's talking about music.
You better watch out because
rights issues.
We'll get pulled off.
Just have a listen. Everybody, listen to the song.
Yeah.
Steve is listening to the song right now and taking us off the YouTube part.
She's trying to be dramatic.
I hate it. I hate it. The first time I heard it, I hated it. And then it was on the radio all the time. I'm like, wait, people like this en masse? Anyway.
It's like
it was the number one single.
Yep.
I don't get it.
It's like Give Me Everything from Pitbull and Neo. We still play it. It's always been a bad song. Always.
It's always been a bad
It has.
song.
I don't care. I love Pitbull. Pitbull's one of the nicest people I've ever interviewed. But that was a bad song. Period. End of story.
I'm so bummed. That's the singer from Paramore.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Did you like Paramore?
They have one really good song that was on one of the NHL soundtracks.
They've won really
Misery
good.
Business.
I think so.
Yeah, Misery Business is great. They've got a few really good ones. When It Rains and Ignorance, and like they have a few like harder rocking songs, but they're not. Recently, has not been as strong.
How did we get here? Oh, Flat Earth.
Yeah. So Adam, please stop arguing with truthers on the internet.
Bench Mitch Marner.
Stop that.
So the second series that we need to talk about, because we're already sort of into it, Kevin Fiala, the update about Kevin Fiala's leg just came out. What is it?
It is a fracture in his left femur.
Which is the biggest bone in your body.
Yeah, it is your thigh bone, basically.
What's it connected to?
Your hip bone.
Career.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I hate you both. I'm going to eat my samosa and just never talk again.
Thanks, Thanks, man. Wow, I never got a high five. It took 3 years to get a high five from Jesse.
Because I wasn't paying attention. My phone went off, and then I heard that was funny.
Thanks, man. Steve's just going to keep eating right now. So basically, what Steve would say if he were able to talk into the microphone, because he knows the last time we ate into the microphone, people were really mad about it. So,
yeah, including me.
Did anybody listen to Jed Neal? No.
Nobody listened.
So, John, tell me about what's USA Hockey's... oh, my God, what a...
It was such an important discussion.
I thought I was far enough away.
Kevin Fiala, basically, this is going to be one of those things that is truly, and I know we're making jokes, but we're not making jokes at his expense. It is a very serious injury, very hard to come back from. The thing is, because the bone is so thick, when you break a bone, I don't know if you've ever broken one or not, it is never the same again. It'll never be as strong. It'll be pretty damn strong, but it's never going to be what it was. And when you're off your leg for that long, remember that you've been walking your whole life. So all of a sudden you can't move that leg. You can't move those muscles. Those muscles atrophy. You have to rehab them. There's a whole process around this. And then imagine, like, for us, being just normal people, it's not hard for us to get back to playing shape. Mm-hmm. Can you walk to the subway? Yes. Yeah. Good. Then you're healed. The rest will take care of itself.
Can you go down the elevator and go to Rabba?
Yes, but for this guy, for Kevin, it's going to be really hard because playing shape is already world class. So you have to get that leg back up to world class before you get some skates on and actually start playing and get the feel for the game back, which is also very, very difficult. It takes a few. It'll take a few months. I would imagine he might be late into next season. Not like late season, but later into the season.
So femur injuries, I think, are relatively rare in hockey because, like, how would you break your femur?
It is sort of surprising that they aren't more prevalent. Although you're right.
Well, you would have to smash into the boards, right?
Yeah, which he unfortunately did.
And the first player I thought of, if it would just open his damn profile, Taylor Fedun or Fedun. I'm not exactly sure how you say it. Playing career. Boo, 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 boo. Where is it? Yes. Prior to the 2011-12 season, when the Oilers roster sat at 32 players, with 9 more needing to be cut from the team's final roster, Fedun was tripped by Minnesota Wild's forward Eric Nystrom and fractured his femur during a preseason game while attempting to retrieve the puck and force an icing. Fedun suffered a complex fracture in his right femur and missed the entire 2011-12 season after a rod was put in his leg. This was the second time the NHL's icing policy led to a fractured femur in the post-lockout era, with the previous injury coming to former Wild defenseman Curtis Foster in 2007. I think I might have been thinking of Curtis Foster.
Complex fracture's bad. You want it to be clean.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what Fiala had. And I mean, there's levels of fracture, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a little crack. Maybe it's all the damn way through. Maybe it's complex, which I didn't know was a thing. We're talking months here. Several months. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if he starts next season, though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. I do want to Mark Spector this game, though, for you.
Oh.
When it comes to PK. The PK Subban's Nashville Predators.
You know,
I'm gonna
I didn't like Mark's take, but I didn't hear any complaints when Subban was lighting up the Blues. I didn't hear any complaints. Everyone was like, I think Down Goes Brown had a tweet, and I'm not taking a shot at him, but he was like, I can't believe an NHL team traded PK Subban.
I know.
And so here we are, again, about 10 months from it, and we're talking about the trade rather than the performance.
Well, PK Subban's Nashville Predators won last night, as you know.
Yes.
And all 3 goals, there's 4 goals total, but all the 3 that PK was a part of, 1 goal, 2 assists, were PK bombs. Mm-hmm. He could have easily scored on all 3 of them. They were just, a couple were tips, and then one of them actually went in.
I saw the first one. I didn't watch a lot. I was writing.
All of them were like you're talking like wind up, blow someone's head off, right? You wouldn't want to stand in front of this if you're Jake Allen, and God bless him for doing so. Goaltenders are a different sort, man.
They're weird.
Different dude. So I did a little research. Subban had as many points last night as Alex Galchenyuk, Brendan Gallagher, Shea Weber, and Thomas Plekanec had in the entire first round.
Combined?
Not combined, no.
That would be amazing.
He had more points on everybody tied for or more points than everybody, just last night, than everybody on the Montreal Canadiens except for Radulov and Arturi Lehkonen in one game. Now, he only had 2 points in the first round. But
doesn't matter.
The caveat
that's
is
funny. I didn't even know that. You're the first person I've seen that from. That's funny.
Should I tweet that?
No. Because
why not?
Well, Adam, you might as well have asked me, do I want to have a good day, Steve?
I want to set that.
Do I want to have a nice time today?
It's true.
I am saying this, so I didn't like the Hall Larsson stuff, but we do bend the goalposts a little bit for PK.
Well, yeah.
And I mean, he bends them himself by scoring.
I think that one's a little bit. That one's a little bit different because I think in that particular, I don't think the Edmonton Oilers were trading Taylor Hall because they had any personal disagreements with him. With Montreal, I think you could argue that they did.
Yeah, well,
that is a trade they so didn't need to make.
PK for Weber. With Hall and Larsson, you can at least make the argument that even if it's not fair compensation, you're getting something you needed, right? You're getting a defenseman for a forward. With PK and Weber, it was just they didn't want PK.
Yeah, they didn't like him.
They traded a high-scoring right-handed defenseman for a high-scoring right-handed defenseman who was a different person. And older, and the contract, and blah, 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 blah. They could have just as easily kept PK and been roughly a similar team.
Yeah.
Does PK get the Habs further than they got? I don't know the answer to that. Because
I think so. I think
but then you're putting some blame on Weber, which I don't want to do. And I don't want to be one of the people who's saying, oh, well, he almost never gets out of the first round. Well, I don't think that's Weber's fault.
No, I don't think that's Weber's fault.
I think the trade is more lopsided when you just look at their ages. I think right now they're kind of 1-for-1, maybe a little ahead. The other one's a little ahead, but it's going to affect them 3 years down the road.
Yeah, when PK's 27 or 28 and Weber's 35. Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
Yeah. Right now.
Isn't he 31, 32 right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how old PK is. I think he's a year younger than us. I think he's 28.
Oh, okay.
PK Subban is 27.
So when
27.
But he's turning 28 on May 13th.
There you go.
So he's 28.
So when he's 30.
Whoa.
And Shea Weber's 35.
Yeah.
And still making, what is it, 8.5, 9 million? How much is he making?
His cap hit, I think, is 7 something. Mm-hmm. Which again, oh great, we got 1 point something in cap relief. Cool. Boy, oh boy.
Well, that'll help them re-sign Carey Price.
I got a few messages from some very interesting people about my Rubik's Cube analogy.
Oh yeah? Did they like it?
Yeah. I just thought it was very funny.
From NHL people?
Sure.
Gary Bettman.
From good hockey men?
Yeah, I would consider him a good hockey man.
But they couldn't be good hockey women.
I didn't.
I found that quite interesting. I was like, yeah, that's true. There's all dudes. That's weird.
I think I got a message from a good hockey woman. Well, yeah, that's interesting. I want to see if. I want
to see that change. I want that to change.
Well, and supposedly, oh God, what was it? Friedman had a story where the Leafs they tried to hire one. Jen, I forget her last name. Damn it. Anyway, they tried to hire her for the stats department, but we're getting off topic. Sorry.
And she said, nah, B.
I don't know if she said no. I forget the story. I do know they approached her, though. Yeah.
Jesse, you look like you wanted to say something.
No, just back on.
You just have
PK.
that look on your face.
Yeah.
Back on PK. Well, I mean, it's a little bit unfair, the analogy I just made, but it's all the same. PK had a great game last night, and that's the type of game that Montreal could have used against Henrik Lundqvist because you take a red-hot goalie in Jake Allen. PK's the kind of guy. This is the key to him. He's the kind of guy that can derail a hot streak. That terrifies goaltenders.
Takes over a game.
Yes.
Completely takes over a game.
And that's the superstar X factor. Montreal had guys before that could shut a game down, but they had that X factor in PK and they had that X factor in Carey Price. Now they only have that X factor in Carey Price. And I'm not trying to take shots at Shea Weber here. But Shea Weber does not strike me as the kind of guy anymore who, like when he was playing with Suter, I feel like he was maybe a little bit more. But maybe it was just Suter.
He's also younger.
He was younger, but I felt I don't know that he's not a take over a game kind of guy.
I still say like one of the biggest things the Preds have going for them is outside of PK, Ryan Ellis has been spectacular for them. So like
and Roman Josi.
And oh my God, and Roman Josi. So like they're a spectacular defensive team.
I had Preds fans tweeting me going like, I don't know why the focus is always on Shea Weber. Roman Josi was always the better defenseman, and it's like
Nick Kypreos is one of the few MSM guys I've heard constantly say, if you're the Habs, how don't you get Josi out of that instead of Weber? He's one of the few. And he's always thumping that one.
Did you guys know that we don't know anything about hockey?
Yes.
Okay, because we should shut. I think after this we should shut the podcast down.
Uh-oh. Why?
We
don't ask that.
We dared to choose the Penguins over the Caps in our predictions.
Not me.
Not you. Jesse knows hockey.
I am half pregnant and sat on the fence, I think.
So, we've come to the conclusion that everyone should direct their hate at Adam.
You were not half pregnant. You picked Pittsburgh. Nice try.
Yeah, but in my bracket, I picked Washington, so it's like, I don't know, man.
No, I think let's just all direct the hate at Adam.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as sure as you are.
No, I'm sure. You know why?
One of them's rooting for their buddy M.
That's right. My buddy M is involved, and maybe I'm a little bit biased because of it. But here's the thing. That was according to a YouTube comment, by the way. And it's just like, you guys need to learn hockey. And I'm like, okay, I got to read this.
You guys is Adam Wild.
There you go.
Yeah. I got a tweet from a Caps fan after they eliminated the Leafs, and they were like, hey, in the next round, we will say out of Phil.
That's awesome. I think the reason that I'm taking Pittsburgh is the way that the Washington Capitals handled the Stanley Cup favorite Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it took them 6 games and it took Pittsburgh
and all those overtimes.
It took them 5 to beat Columbus.
It did. Mm-hmm. And I've seen some stats saying Columbus did better than people say, and I've seen some stats that say the opposite. So I don't know.
That's why we took it. Just throwing that out there.
Also, it's the best and second best team, like regular season team in the league.
No, Steve.
No.
We need to learn hockey. Best team, second best team doesn't matter.
No.
If you're not first, you're last. Okay?
Like, you should be able to pick either team and people go, totally. Like, because they're great. Yeah. They're both great. Like, what's... Caps. Steve, what if I told you I went into the future and the Caps won in a sweep? I'd be like, you bet. You bet.
Golly.
What hey, actually, I was just lying. The Penguins won in a sweep. Totally. Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Knew it. Like, they're both great.
If Pittsburgh wins the cup with Marc-Andre Fleury,
again,
is there any sort of thing out of Pittsburgh about them protecting him over Matt Murray?
No.
No.
I'm just throwing that out there because you know how hockey storylines go. I'm not saying it would make sense. I'm just saying, would it come up?
You know that gif of Seinfeld smoking a stogie while someone just hands him bill after bill after bill? That's the Penguins. They don't give a fuck about anything. They don't. Matt Murray, Marc-Andre Fleury, doesn't matter. Give us a junior B fill-in goalie and we'll still win the cup. We're the Pittsburgh damn Penguins. We're geniuses, back-to-back cup champions, and you can't tell us anything.
Follow-up question. Mm-hmm. Would Marc-Andre Fleury be the worst goalie ever to win 2 Stanley Cups as a starting goalie?
How many does Chris Osgood have?
Yeah, that was my instant.
You don't like Osgood?
Ask Detroit fans about Chris Osgood.
Let's look up Chris Osgood.
I like
starting goalie though.
No.
Yes,
Chris Osgood was the starting goalie.
If you think
for their cup.
For 1, but
I
think
for
2.
I think he had 2 with them. And I think he was the starter.
2008.
Because didn't they win 3, like it was like 97, 98?
And I think he was the starter for 98. And then
did they not win in like...
Who won it in 2002? I think that was the Hasek Cujo year.
In 2002.
Hasek Cujo.
So silly. How the hell did they have both?
Chris Osgood was on the
St. Louis
Blues in 2002.
I forgot. Sorry, I thought he was with
he's got 1? That's it?
I think he's got 2, man.
Where's the second one?
Oh, wait.
98. Oh, yeah, and 08. I think it was 98 and 08.
98, yeah. Starting goalie. 08, starting goalie.
I knew it.
There it is. Okay, so you think there was a kerfuffle about Adam Larsson or PK Subban? Just you wait until Chris Osgood makes the Hockey Hall of Fame, which could be as soon as this upcoming year. Just you wait.
The groans I remember, this is pre-social media, the groans we saw out of Detroit when he re-signed there, when he went back.
Oh, I know.
People, because here's he's known for that one. What was that one goal from center ice or whatever, the opposing blue line that it went through, and that wasn't fair.
I think they were the President's Trophy winners, and they got knocked out first round, and that goal was yeah. He didn't do so good. Also, you know what I think part of the hatred of Chris Osgood was?
He wasn't Mike Vernon?
Didn't have a cool mask. So yes.
True. That's a good point. Yeah.
Didn't have a cool mask. And yeah, he wasn't as good as Mike Vernon. Mike Vernon stole the show a few times in the
That's
year before.
a goalie that never gets his due. Like
he gets a little bit.
Oh, he's like the reason Calgary won, I think, in the late 80s.
Yeah, he probably gets more out there, right? I mean, you were out in Calgary.
Not really.
No?
A lot of those, it was funny. When I was in Calgary, the Flames were bad. And so a lot of people, when the Flames are bad in Calgary, people ignore them. Like, they'll watch the game or whatever, but they, like...
So what do they pay attention
Like, the sports talk radio ratings go down. Like, just having been in radio, my boss at the time, he's like, yeah, when the Flames aren't good, nobody... Like, what else do we talk about? The Roughnecks? Like, and the Stampeders were bad that year, a couple years in a row there, too. They weren't great.
Everyone
they still
was
made the
wearing
playoffs,
their
but they weren't
Rough
great.
Riders jerseys.
Always. Dude, there's so many Saskatchewan, like, imports from there.
What is a person from Saskatchewan called?
Like an actual, like the actual term?
Let me look it up.
Well, I thought we called them Saskies.
But that's like, you would never hear Justin Trudeau be like, I'm happy to have the support of Ontarians, Albertans, Saskies. Like, you would never hear that.
What did we call them? I can't even remember. It's been a while now. I don't know.
What's someone from Halifax?
Haligonian.
Mrs. Dangle found that out today.
Yes.
We might go to Halifax and become Haligonians for a week this year.
It's the best. I love that city.
I know. I love it
so much.
Sorry, where were we going?
When are you going? I'll go with you. I'll
Chris,
go and drink all the beer and and just sink to the bottom of the harbor in beer.
July. Let's do it.
According to Google and Yahoo Answers, the most accepted answer is Saskatchewanian.
Nobody says that. I can guarantee that. They're just called Rider fans.
Yeah, I'm from Saskatchewan.
It's like you're a Rider fan. Just Rider fan. You're from Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and if you want to say it like you're from there, Saskatch''WIN.
The official one is Saskatchewanian, according to Wikipedia. Also, Saskatchewanite. One-night.
No,
Saskatchewanite.
Saskatchewanite?
There you go. But Saskatchewanian is the official name.
I'm liking Saskies more and more. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, yes, I am a Sasky.
Pretty sure it was Sasky.
Do you want a case for Chris Osgood for the Hall of Fame?
I want to hear it, Jesse.
Let's hear it.
This? It's from 2015.
Red Wing fans, too grown. Let's hear it.
It's from our now departed Scott Burnside, who wrote for ESPN.
Oh, which we will get to.
Mm-hmm.
As of this writing, which was 2015, Osgood ranks 10th all-time in wins among goalies.
Mm-hmm.
Osgood won 3 Stanley Cups, 2 as a starter, and came within 2 wins in 2009 of winning a 4th.
Who cares?
As Detroit was defeated by Pittsburgh in Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Hall of Fame. No one cares if you almost did anything.
74 postseason wins are 8th all-time, and his 15 shutouts in the playoff are 4th all-time.
Wow, that's impressive. You can't deny that, man. They're shutouts, right?
He provided top-notch goaltending when his team needed it the most. He was a finalist for the Vezina Trophy in 1996. And he led the league.
And yet the next year, Mike Vernon started most of the games.
Yes.
I think so.
Weird. Okay.
And he led the league in wins that year.
Huh.
In 2008, he led the league in goals against average, which was like, okay. Although he split time with Hasek and appeared in only 43 games.
So he won the Jennings.
Yeah.
His playoffs that year was also tops for goals against average among all netminders.
I'm sad.
He returned for the... Anyways, there you go.
Okay. So
he's going to make it.
No, here's my question. Is Nick Lindstrom in the Hall of Fame?
Yes. He deserves to be.
Is Slava Fetisov in the Hall of Fame?
Basically, the whole team is in the Hall of Fame.
Right. So, and listen, I'm not saying...
Yeah.
You know what? I would say this. Chris Osgood definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's the numbers, period.
There's probably a decent argument for why Grant Fuhr should not be.
Yeah, but
cups and wins.
Yeah, man.
Which is, that gets you in. That gets you in.
Osgood's been eligible since 2004, by the way. So he's been passed over 3 times.
Wow.
Or 2 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 2014.
2014.
Not 2004.
I said 2004.
So he's been passed over
he'll never get in there.
Since before he retired, he's been passed over. That's how much we don't like him.
Man, he won a cup.
No, I think, you know what, man? I think he deserves it. I think that Chris Osgood wasn't great, but he might have been, and Chicago fans don't get mad, he might have been the lesser Corey Crawford of his generation.
Totally. Like, yeah, so much of the praise like Jonathan Toews gets, for example, 3 cups. Jonathan Toews will be in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Of course.
Probably with a career high of 76 points.
Yeah.
Will he ever pass that? I'm going to go with no. He might. He probably won't. But if he's
already 3 times
playing
goal
today,
scorer.
3 times.
Will Patrick Kane be in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Man, he won the Hart. He won 2 scoring titles, I think, and 3 Stanley Cups.
He would have been in the Hall of Fame 2 years ago.
Including 3 30-goal seasons. We will get him. You know what's funny is Blackhawks fans actually seem to think that joke's cute.
Yeah,
I thought they would get annoyed.
Here's the thing about Blackhawks fans is what do they have to prove?
They throw their cups at you and say, keep making fun of us.
I have my rings plug in both my ear and my mouth.
Someone tweeted me and they're like, Steve, I know you're a Leafs fan. Like, how do I get over this disappointment? And I'm like, you get over this disappointment by realizing you think this is what disappointment feels like.
Yeah, you got swept in the first round. You got into the first round.
Yeah, and I also got a few people like, hey man, you forget that we knew what this was like from 2006
years ago.
And I'm like, and I was just like,
so do we since 2006.
Fuck you for saying that. I hate you.
You know, from 2004 to 2008 we were bad. Oh, that's great. We were bad from 2004 to 2014.
No, finished first 15, in the West.
16,
How
17.
dare you even compare the season to that? Like,
it's not even that we were bad back then. We've been bad since there were 6 teams in the league. So
yeah,
they never won. They never won.
Chicago was bad too, though.
No.
Chicago had some pretty lean years, and they had an owner that didn't believe in televising the team. Did you know this story?
But even they, I think, made the Cup final in the early 90s.
Yes, they did.
One of the Penguins' years, I think.
Yep, it was the not Minnesota year.
Minnesota year.
Yeah. The North Stars, I think, won. Or sorry, lost it. Okay,
man, we're all over the place when we don't have segments.
Whatevs. Oh, no, we have segments. No Leafs. We get. Yes, there is. Can Mike Babcock? Is there any conceivable way Mike Babcock wins the Jack Adams Award? Which he has never won.
I don't think he will. But this is an interesting thing. So, like, this is a voted on award, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
So part of that is politics and human resources.
Mm-hmm.
Babcock has probably rubbed fewer media members the wrong way than John Tortorella.
Mm-hmm.
Todd McClellan will probably have the support of the Western guys. Like, I think it's a very tight race. I legitimately have no idea who's going to win.
Somebody said to me yesterday when I put it up, and obviously I'm a biased Leafs fan, so I'm like, it has to be Babcock. They're like, how about the guy whose team's still in the playoffs? Well,
it's not based on.
It's not based on that.
It's not based on that.
Ballots are cast. It's already done. Mm-hmm. It's regular season.
No, it is. Yeah,
I don't know if
it's already cast.
All trophy voting end of the regular season.
I talked to John Shannon was on Breakfast Television a couple days ago, and he said, "Yeah, I did my votes already."
Yeah, because they can't let the playoffs influence the votes because it's not in consideration.
That makes sense. Yeah, exactly. So for that very reason, sir,
no,
doesn't work.
I do think.
Well, and Babcock said the Coach of the Year trophy is the big silver thing they hand out at the end of the season. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good.
It's kind of true.
And Jeff Merrick also calls that GM of the Year.
The thing about it is that how do you argue with a guy who went from did the Jackets finish third last or did they win the lottery and move up?
They moved up.
So they finished like seventh last or something.
They were bottom 10. They were bad.
So how do you I mean, and then wins an NHL record games in a row. I don't know how you argue with that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how Tortorella doesn't win this.
Babcock took the Leafs from dead last to squeaking into the playoffs. Tortorella took the Blue Jackets from fifth last, let's say.
I think seventh last, but yeah.
What, third in the league? Come on. that's pretty hard to contend with.
Don't get me wrong. I want Babcock to win.
But, of course. Well, I don't really care. Because whoever wins Coach of the Year tends to get fired, like within 2 or 3 years. And also,
just every coach tends to get fired within 2 or 3 years.
Leafs. No one expected them to do well. They did well. Nominated. Oilers. A few people expected them to do well, but probably not this well.
They did well.
Got nominated. Blue Jackets. No one expected them to do this well. They did well. Got nominated. Guy Boucher left off the ballot, but a lot of people thought he should have been on there. Ottawa Senators. No one expected them to do well. They did well. Should have been nominated. Like, it's just the we didn't expect you to do this well award.
Yep. Guy Boucher definitely
fourth last, by the way. Blue Jackets.
Fourth last.
Because
they picked, was it Pierre-Luc Dubois? Who won that?
I think that's
Who moved up in that lottery then? It was
the Jets and the Blue Jackets.
Oh, the Jets moved up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did they kick out then? Arizona. It was
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Because the final standings were Leafs 30, Edmonton 29, Vancouver 28, Columbus 27, Calgary 26, Winnipeg 25.
It's so annoying because Edmonton got kicked out of the top 3 and still picked the guy who was projected to go third.
Because Jarmo Kekalainen doesn't like his own countrymen. Only because of that.
That was weird. Man, Puljujärvi did not look good in the NHL to start the season, but he looked really good in the AHL.
So he'll be fine.
They got a player.
Yep. Draft lottery is this weekend. Did you know that Colorado's odds of getting the number 1 pick are less than what the Leafs' odds were to get Austin Matthews?
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I will tell you. Give me one moment. I'm going to open up I want to give you the exact number. So Colorado, think about this, okay?
The Leafs were 20.
The Leafs were
20%.
20%.
Yeah.
Colorado's odds are 17.936. Do you want to know why?
Yes.
Vegas. So you're terrible.
Historically terrible.
Historically bad. Whereas the Leafs we're historically good for a last place team.
Absolutely.
Like, I wonder where would we have finished? It still would have been bottom 10, but it would have been high-end bottom 10 last year for the Leafs.
For the McKeichel year, they, I think, would have finished 4th or 5th last.
And this year, I wonder. They had 69 points. Jesse, let's look that up if you don't mind.
Sure.
In the meantime, Steve, I'm going to explain this to you. So Colorado has a 17.963 chance, of almost 18%. That still sucks. Still not 20.
Yeah.
Vancouver with a 12%, Vegas with 10, Arizona even with them with 10, and then Jersey's got 8, Buffalo 7, Detroit 6, and so on and so on. So, well, I guess I can keep going.
By the way,
Dallas 5, Florida 5, Los Angeles 4.5, Carolina 3, Winnipeg 2, Philly 2, and by the way, Winnipeg's like 2.7. Tampa is a 1, and the Islanders have a less than 1% shot.
Please not Tampa, for the love of God.
Yeah,
Can
really.
you imagine? But Detroit misses the playoffs for the first time in over 2 decades. You know they're winning the draft lottery, right? It's a foregone conclusion. Oh my God, yeah.
I think it's going to be Arizona or Vegas.
Funny.
I'm going to give Arizona or Vegas.
In the Matthews year, Leafs finished with 69 points. In McKeichel, Buffalo had 54. Arizona had 56. Edmonton had 62. And the Leafs had 68.
So Leafs would have finished 5th last. Last year's Leafs would have finished 5th last.
What about this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said Sabres 54. So remember, the Sabres who sold on top of selling finished with 54 points. Colorado, who
48?
lost Jerome McGinley and Andreas Martinson.
48.
Holy shit! Oh my God!
And then the next worst record was Vancouver at 69. So the Leafs would have tied for that second slot.
Wow. Boy, did they really tumble at the end of the season, eh?
Vancouver?
Yeah. They didn't really. They lost Yannick Hansen.
No, but that's what you want to do because you don't want to barely miss the playoffs. You want to sneak into the top. So,
no. I'm
good on
not criticizing them. It was just, it was strange how they plummeted that far.
So I just wanted, like,
and Alex Burrows.
I did want to talk about the draft a little bit because I think it's important that we start kind of learning a little bit more about it. So Nolan Patrick, the book on him is he's a great two-way guy. Takes as much pride in his defense as he does offense. His stock has dropped a little bit because of a knee injury. He spent most of the season not playing.
Yep.
And here's what his GM, Grant Armstrong of the Wheat Kings, has to say. He's like, I think there are people who believe he's the kind of guy who's going to walk on and save a team. That is not what he is right now. He's a solid two-way guy who takes as much pride in his defensive play as making a play offensively. He's a guy who eventually you're going to put into all situations. To me, he's going to be a lot like Bo Horvat. He's going to be that type of impact in your line. He's going to have that type of impact in your lineup when suitably ready. And they're already saying Jonathan Toews-like, but it's so funny because that's what they said about Austin Matthews. Remember how many Jonathan Toews, Austin Matthews comparables?
Kopitar and yeah.
So, I mean...
Barry Trotz said Pavel Datsyuk.
with
Austin Matthews.
That might have been closer.
Honestly, I don't hate the comparison.
I don't hate it because Pavel Datsuk's awesome.
Yeah, I'll be pretty stoked with that.
I still think he's capable of being one of the best players.
Matthews.
Period. Just one of the best players, period. Number 2, Nico Herscher, who might go number 1. He's 6-foot center from Switzerland. He will be the first Swiss player to go this high. No matter where he'll be the highest drafted Swiss player ever.
Yeah, unless he takes a real tumble, because I think Nino Niederreiter was 5th.
Yeah. But
so
he won't.
Would be pretty unusual, but yeah.
He's a potentially first overall guy. Halifax Moosehead, so Haligonians will know him. 38 goals and 48 assists in 57 games. So... big guy, can score points. Number 3, Timothy Liljegren, I think. Liljegren? Liljegren?
Liljegren?
Yeah, Liljegren.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can see his name in my head. I have no idea how to say it.
Yeah, and I guess we'll learn. Small puck-moving defenseman, lots of scoring prowess. Of note on this one.
I've heard he might go first.
Apparently, he might. Because, again, it's a pretty wide-open draft, and I'll get to that in a second. Apparently, there are far more first-rounders available this year by NHL teams. Like they're already starting to leak to the media that their first rounder might be available because in this year more than especially the last 2 drafts, but in like maybe the last 5, once you get out of the top 10, it's kind of a wide open field. That's what they're saying.
It's like that every year.
11 through 30, they're saying is pretty even. So if there's a team that is willing to move up, you might see a team like the Leafs go, okay, we'll take your 29th pick. And we'll take your 29th and 40th pick or something, and we'll give you our 18th pick. Now the Leafs,
whatever. Well, and they like doing that sort of thing at the draft.
The Leafs will draft 17th or 18th overall. Names to look out for: Nicholas Hague of the Mississauga Steelheads, is a defenseman, ranked 17th overall by Future Considerations. 18 goals, 28 assists. Big, physical, nasty. Has an occasional temper tantrum, but that's maturity. Eric Brandstrom, who played HV71 junior 20s
in Sweden.
There you go. Yep. Ranked 22nd by Future Considerations. Small puck-moving defenseman, offensive touch, which the Leafs love, except for last year's draft where they drafted all big boys. There was a lot of people who were upset with last year's draft.
That was very strange.
It was Adam Brooks though. Yegor
Korshkov is kind of forgotten about.
Yeah,
he had a decent year.
And then there's a Christian Vesalainen who played for Frölunda. Ranked 24th by Future Considerations. Now, Frölunda in the SHL is a men's league. So the problem was Christian Vesalainen was supposed to be much higher. He was supposed to be a top 10, potentially top 5 pick. But he got into the SHL and had trouble getting ice time and had trouble scoring.
That is a problem in Europe. Yeah.
So he's 17. And I was like, so I kind of look at that and the people are like, maybe take a flyer on that guy because he apparently did really well at the U18 tournament. Where were you physically at 17? Compared to somebody at 25?
Lighter,
but skinny, right? Skinny.
Yeah, not strong.
No, yeah.
At all. You know what sucked is when I think it was around 2012, I was up around 225. I put on some pounds and I calorie counted and that's all I did. And I got down to about $185.
Nice.
And I was like, oh man, going to the gym's going to be a breeze now. And I was worse.
Yeah.
I was worse at the gym. So I'm up a little bit and it's not all muscle, definitely, but
me too.
I feel better. I feel stronger than I did back then, for sure. And slower.
Pension Plan Puppets have a bunch of stuff like this on their website. Jeff Merrick's a great guy to follow for drafts-related stuff because no one pays more attention to the O than him. And Sportsnet is obviously going to up their coverage on that, closer to it. Obviously, this weekend we're going to hear a lot of stuff on who will go. But there's actually a great clip of Jeff online kind of talking about the top 3.
You know what Jeff Merrick is? Jeff Merrick is that guy who has the crazy computer with like the red lights on the back of it, who's like, yeah, I installed all this extra RAM. Like he just has all this extra storage space for information that like mere mortals don't have.
Yeah, and time to read books somehow and remember quotes.
Yeah, I think he picks up a book, opens it, and goes, that was a great book, and like just sets it back down on the table. Just processes it like a robot.
One of those people you meet where you shake their hand and you go, okay, this guy is much smarter than I am.
Yeah.
Like, and instantly you're like, wow, holy.
You shake his hand and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like you just feel all of his knowledge.
The Coyotes have blocked the Buffalo Sabres' attempt to talk to John Chayka.
Yeah, okay. I read that this morning. I didn't know the Sabres could do that. I knew you could talk to assistant GMs.
Well, you have to just ask for permission.
I didn't know you could go to another team and just go, can I have your GM, please?
You can.
Did the Leafs try to do that with Brian Burke?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the rumor, but I don't know if they actually formally...
And there might have been, they were talking at the time, I remember, because there's no real rule in place, about like a trade with Anaheim, where we get Burke. And
That's
they get
right.
asset.
Yeah. Stay the fuck away from Dubas, man. I'm telling you.
Well, all the Leafs have to do is go, no. You can't talk to him.
That is true.
So... and I also don't know, if you're John Chayka, you just started in Arizona and now you want to go to Buffalo?
I don't think he wants to.
No, I
think
like,
he's happy with the baby he's building.
Yeah, because you were starting again, right? Like that's the Arizona Coyotes are your project.
I think the Coyotes had roughly the season that people expected the Leafs to have this year. Super young. They didn't go all young, though, like the Leafs did. They protected a lot of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And
they traded Hansel, and that was upsetting.
That was very upsetting. Oh, my God.
Remember how upsetting that
They
was?
robbed Minnesota blind.
But Shane Doan, man.
But Shane Doan. Yeah, well. And then Max Domi is going to be healthy the whole year.
Yeah.
They'll have Dylan Strome, and he'll hopefully be pretty good.
His skating has to improve.
Yeah.
And apparently it has, but that was the problem.
He'll have a good run in the OHL this year and have some fun. Jacob Chikrin will be a year older. Lawson Krause will be a year older. Who was the other first rounder they had last year? I forget his name. He's supposed to be pretty good. Plus, they'll have another first rounder this year. It could be top 5. Might even win the draft lottery. I like Arizona, man. I like what they're doing. Money is an issue, but
I just find it funny with Buffalo that they would. I mean, listen. If you're gonna do it, you gotta go. If you're gonna go get a GM, go get the best possible GM you can get. Right?
If you're gonna get a GM, fire your current one with a GM in mind. Which it doesn't really sound like they did.
Well, I guess you can't really do that if you're going after Chayka, because then you're calling Arizona and going, "Hey, by the way, can we talk to John because we might be getting rid of our guy?" Like that, I don't think you can do that.
I don't know.
I mean, you can do that, but I don't think you'd want to do that. That would get out.
You could flirt with the idea. So, John, you like it? There? What's the weather like? Oh, it's nice and hot. Yeah, I bet it's like too hot, though. It's probably like dry.
You probably miss shoveling, right?
Like, I bet you're like thirsty all the time. How's your lips? Bet you got chapped lips.
Can you skate outside in the winter?
Yeah. Oh, can you not do that? Oh, we can do that here.
Do you have any places called Cheektowaga nearby?
Yeah.
No?
We got like,
No?
It's like real sports, but it's not. But like, it's pretty good. Like, seriously, like, I don't know. It does not.
What do you mean you can go outside all year? Bullshit.
Oh, what?
That is some crap.
But you don't even have asthma.
That's a good point.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't sound like the Sabres really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I hope they don't get Dubas.
They won't, man. They can't. The Leafs will literally back up the truck
Someone
of money.
messaged me the other day. They're like, what is Adam going to do when the Sabres get Dubas?
They're not going to get him.
They're not.
No, because, again, I said, okay, so okay, fine. Sabres get Dubas, and all the Buffalo Riders are like, boo-boo. Okay, you know what the Leafs still have? They still have Mike Babcock. They still have Austin Matthews. They still have Brendan Shanahan, Tim Hunter, and Lou Lamoriello. So we're going to, so Kyle Dubas gets to go and watch the Leafs destroy his team every time?
I have a hard time. Well, and I also have a hard time believing, like, I love Dubas and I want him to stay, but I have a hard time believing the Leafs are going to, like, when they lose Dubas, they're going to take the spreadsheet and then be like, I don't get it. Oh, and turn it upside down.
Right.
Now I get it.
They kind of have.
They're not clueless. They're good hockey men.
Kyle isn't going anywhere.
No. I think he's staying.
Nikita Kucherov in a Russian paper, and this happens very often.
Russian players love going home and talking shit.
Wow. And you know what?
They love it. It's their favorite thing.
I went to 2 blowout Tampa Bay losses, and I saw a Tampa Bay win here in Toronto. The Tampa Bay win here in Toronto was with Steven Stamkos. The blowout losses were not. So I saw 3 Tampa Bay games this year completely by accident, and I have to tell you, he's right. So here's what he said.
Okay.
This is the question. The fact that Captain Steve, and this is translated from Russian, so if it doesn't make total grammatical sense, apologies.
Yeah. Shout out Raw Charge, by the way, who I think had the translation.
The fact that Captain Steven Stamkos dropped out was a blow, ? Yes, you have a little more playing time, but after all, Tampa became weaker. Sorry, this is just his answer. He said, at first it was hard because it was a link I created. And he says Nims, but it's Nemestikov and Stamkos. We were put together for 10 games. And in just the 9th, Steven was injured. But we played very well, established interaction. I can say that these were my top 9 games in all 4 years in the NHL. I was very upset. Then the coaches begin to change the composition to transfer me from the link to the link. I don't know what that means.
Maybe switch wings?
Partners were like in a kaleidoscope. Again, this is Russian to English.
I guess the lines were getting jumbled around.
And it's very hard to get used to because guys do not play at the same level as Stamkos. And it's hard to explain how I played with him. I was a little did not understand. There were problems. Steven and I and Nemestikov were on the same wave. We thought alike. There was no need to explain something to each other about who was going to be on what site, but I would assume it meant side. For example...
Well, and who was going to be where, yeah.
You tell a new partner where you need to be, but he does not manage to get there with his feet. I was tormented all season. Torment's a big word. Stamkos broke down.
Can you look up who he played with?
Stamkos broke down, and I could not find partners with whom there would be a perfect mutual understanding. And for some reason, and this is where it gets juicy, my coach wouldn't pair me with Jonathan Drouin. Although when we crossed one day, the game went very well. And there were other guys who just sat in the team. They got their money and they stopped working. They knew they had no competition for jobs. They knew they had no competition, that Tampa would not take on anyone else. They did not play so well this year. This is evident from both statistics and movement. When I went out with them and gave them a pass, they did not even expect it. That's why I had a hard season despite the statistics. And so Deadspin adds this onto it, which is interesting. They said a relevant piece of information might be that forward Alex Killorn's received a 7-year contract, and he got that last July and had 36 points in 81 games.
Okay, good. I'm glad you added that on because I'm like, okay, who got money?
Who's he talking about?
Cooch got money. Stamkos got money. Mm-hmm. Hedman got money. Was he talking about Hedman?
No. Well, Hedman's a Norris Trophy finalist, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He was great.
And he deserves to be, too. And then I was like, was it Drouin? No, he's complaining about not playing with Drouin. So, I mean, it kind of sounds like Killorn, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a very small sample size from Daily Faceoff, but it does make sense to me because towards the end of the season, who was Tampa's #1 center? Braden Point for a long time. So I'm looking, I'm going...
the Leafs up at the wrong time.
Yes, he did. So I'm looking, Andre Palat. He's been a line mate of Kucherov's on and off for like a long time, right? They were the triplets.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Johnson, I think, was out for a while, so I don't know. It sounds an awful lot like he's talking about Braden Point, doesn't it?
No, Braden Point didn't get a lot of money, man. Braden Point's brand new.
No, not the money, but the I just like
he can't get his feet.
Yeah,
to the spot.
He's talking about the rookie center that they threw into the number one slot.
I think he's talking about both. Yeah. I don't know that he's necessarily like. Yeah, I mean, I think he's talking about not having chemistry with the guys they put him with.
Yeah. And
they never tried him with Drouin, which is stupid. Sorry, but I understand spreading that out. But if you're lacking depth, put him with Drouin.
He needs to chill, big time, because he's basing his opinion off his line with Steven Stamkos and Vlad Nemesnikov on 9 games. He played with Drouin for 1. He's mad about that. He wanted to play for more, so that's fine. But now you're going out and you're insulting the guys you did play with. You're going out and you're insulting your coach. You're fully going out and insulting Alex Killorn by the sounds of it. So now you've just alienated a fair chunk of your team.
Flip side of that.
Coaches get fired.
Well, yeah, coaches get fired. Maybe he's right. Now,
doesn't matter.
No, but in that particular case, maybe, and I don't know this, but maybe there's a guy, and I'm going to use Alex Killorn's name without actually knowing what went on in that dressing room.
Sure.
Maybe there's a guy like him who needs to take a good hard look in the mirror.
He's just a bit of a prick or something.
Or just didn't have his game face on. Or squeezed the stick too hard because he got so much money that he didn't know what to do with it. Almost like, remember when Gaudreau and Monahan started slow and everybody's like, what the hell? And they became Gaudreau and Monahan again after they got their big contracts. However, it took them a minute because they were like, they're paying me so much money and I have so much pressure on me. Right?
Well, I don't know if it was necessarily that, but yeah.
It could have been.
Let's go with it. Looking at their cap breakdown. What on earth? Oh, it's because they still have certain guys on the injured reserve. I was going to say Alex Killorn is Tampa's third highest paid forward.
It won't be after this.
Wow. What a contract this guy got.
Yeah, 7 years.
Alex Killorn makes 4.45, which that's a nice little deal. Until 2023.
6 more.
Jeez. And another thing, too, just looking at this, Kucherov makes 4.76, so he took a nice little
haircut,
team-friendly haircut, and they're making just about $300,000 less than him, only $300,000 less than him.
And he's letting it up.
Kucherov is like in the MVP conversation, making just over $300,000 more than Alex Killorn, who had 19 goals, 17 assists, and a healthy 81-game season, unless there's something we don't know about.
I don't blame Nikita Kucherov one bit. I don't blame him at all. And this is part of the hockey problem is you know what? If that makes you mad when someone calls you out for not playing well, then that's your problem.
Yeah. Oh, that's your problem. As a member of the media, I love that he said it. Oh, Russians are just great. It's the best when they get knocked out of the playoffs because you're like, oh, it's about a week away from them saying some shit. And then they do, like clockwork. But it's like the best.
When Grabowski called out Randy Carlyle, he was right.
Yeah, which was not veiled at all.
He was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said it to a North American reporter.
Yeah. On his wedding day.
On his wedding day.
on his wedding day, or the night before.
But everything he said... Yeah. He was like, he was onto something. And then other things that leaked out from the team that we heard afterwards that made its way to us. Like, we're even worse. You know, I have a theory on concussions.
Which is hilarious, by the way. Like,
there were so many bad things that even we found out about it.
And like, we're a little bit more well connected now, but we still know practically nothing. We knew even less than that 2 or 3 years ago, and we were finding it out. So that's the difference in the Leafs. Nothing gets out. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. We're more connected to other teams than we are the Leafs.
Until Nikita Zaitsev goes home and he starts blabbing to the Moscow Express.
I have a feeling he will not be doing that.
Imagine.
I can't imagine.
He's going to go back to Switzerland and start bragging to his old team in Swiss.
America Swiss.
It's not a language.
Don't they speak German?
They have 4 national languages there.
Oh.
French, Italian, German, and Austrian, I think.
Okay, so basically all the border cities, or all the border countries. Okay. Yes.
I know what I said.
I'm sure there's a dialect that's basically all of them.
Something that we're going to do going into the draft.
Get naked!
The expansion draft and free agency.
Give away money.
Every show I'm going to bring up a terrible rumor. Because terrible rumors are the best. So this terrible rumor,
JDR for price.
I'm going to give people the credit they deserve for coming up with these rumors. So our first rumor comes to us from the Classic. This guy is a nice guy, but he's known for putting some crazy stuff out there.
Are these like legit media members or just people with Twitter
They don't
accounts?
have to be. No. Well, it's not like, hey, I'm in the comment section of the Toronto Sun.
Legit media.
No, I'm talking about people who claim to be hockey experts. Okay? Here's the bad rumor report. And I will eat my words if this happens. This one comes from Eklund. And it is that the Leafs are very interested in Mark-Edward Vlasic, who is
out of Montreal,
San Jose.
San Jose. Sorry, I was watching Hockey Wives last night.
No, who is 31 years old in the last year of his deal, and due for a raise at 31. That somehow the Toronto Maple Leafs would be interested in that. And the article I read said that, well, I mean, it would take more than James Van Riemsdyk to get Marc-Edouard Vlasic out of San Jose. So, I mean, it's not like, and here's the article said this is my favorite. The article said, well, I mean, you wouldn't have to pay an arm and a leg for Marc-Edouard Vlasic, which to me is James Van Riemsdyk. But no, this one prophesies that, why not throw in a Brendan Leipsic? Just throw him in.
No. No. I wrote an article yesterday.
Oh my God.
About Leafs, potential Leafs rookies for next year. Holy shit, was Leipzig so good this year. Kapanen too.
Seth Griffith was amazing.
A lot of people. So yeah, but Seth Griffith is a little older, and he's not technically a rookie anymore. I was writing about like just rookies, right?
Oh, fair.
Leipzig, holy shit, hold on to him. Leipzig, I don't know. And I even said, I'm like, now stop me. You'll have to excuse me for saying the following sentence, but if the Leafs trade JVR, Leipzig helps soften that blow. I'm not saying they're the same type of player.
Right.
One is like 5 inches shorter than the other and 40 pounds lighter, but similar production.
Now, let it be said that I am not attacking anybody who puts these rumors out personally.
It just seems a little silly.
I just don't think that rumor is in any way going to happen. No. And if it does happen, I'll give them full credit. They were right.
We'll have them on.
Absolutely. That's not a personal attack.
You can
because everybody takes everything personally. It's not a personal attack. It's just that's silly. Don't be silly.
Yeah.
That's silly. Probably take it personally.
Eklund is a nice man.
Yeah.
He's a nice man.
Take it personally.
I still think that's. So anyway, that's the next contract. By the way, Marc-Edouard Vlasic is making like 4.5 right now. Next one should pay him for 7 years at about $5 million.
Probably
till he's 38 years old. So I don't think the Leafs want to get embroiled in something like that. Yeah, he's a great defenseman now. Just don't think so. No. Just no.
But they got no problem getting that to Zaitsev. This kid. You see what he saw in the newspaper the other day? Oh my God.
ESPN cuts 100 people. Basically, their entire NHL staff.
Fuck, right?
Along with a bunch of they fired some of their AM anchors, which you'd think, man, if you're the AM anchor at SportsCenter at ESPN, you're safe. Not so.
Well, and like also, I didn't want to tweet this because you don't want to be that guy, but we get to give these nice little emotional send-offs to all the on-air people. No one gives a shit about the behind-the-scenes people, and they're every bit as important. Yeah, and a bunch of them got laid off too. So, fucking, it blows. It was discouraging for me too. Like I'm in this business, but I could just as easily be out of it at any given moment. And I know a lot of you who listen to the show.
Why does that discourage you?
Well, fuck, man. When does it get better? Or when does it change? I've given up. It's not getting better. So the current state of the big companies, I don't think is getting better. What's going to make it get better? What could possibly make it get any better?
A new financial model.
They're taking their sweet time. We've been saying that for 10, 15 years.
And here's the thing. So when I started in radio, and Steve already just picked up his phone. So
no, I'm listening. I was trying to find something.
Forever.
I can't find it.
When I started in radio, it was 2007.
Nothing.
And by 2008, the economy across the world had crashed.
Except in Asia.
That was a shitty time to be in media school.
Right. So,
which I was.
Since that time, and for 5 to 7 years after that time, all anybody could say was, well, we got to lay people off because the economy's not good. Well, in fact, Canada did okay through all that.
Yeah. And then the economy improved, and guess what?
Layoffs are still happening. Here's the problem. And I've talked about this before, there is not a new model for how to do business. And it goes beyond sports media. It's all media, and it's cable, and it's everything else, right? There's an enormous change happening right now. And what happened to the record companies when Napster came out? They ignored the problem. It got bigger. They ignored the problem. It got bigger. They sued the problem. It got even bigger because them suing Napster put Napster on the map. Like, it was
More
just
so.
college kids before that. And then Kazaa and LimeWire and all the other, copycat sites came out. And we're seeing a ton of different changes in the way that we do business. What we have seen is, what was it, the BPAA or something like that? There is a British, there's a few things that England has done really, really well. One of the things is they have a consortium, I guess, of all the artists. Remember with the Ed Sheeran article we were talking about the other day? They paid out to British artists last year, and I forget what it's called, $750 million. Ed Sheeran, Adele, and right on down to lesser-known artists, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that all of that money was streaming money. And when streaming first came out, nobody was making any money off of it. But because people are going to Spotify and going, oh yeah? Okay, all right, I'm going to pull my Taylor Swift, I'm going to pull my catalog then. See how you like that. Wow. Jay-Z, I'm going to pull my catalog then because, well, he's got business interests in Tidal, which nobody's getting. But
I have not heard.
But the record labels have finally come around to streaming, and they're finally accepting the future.
And they're going, oh.
And how long did that take?
And they're finally making money off of it.
Well, Napster, what, 99?
Yeah, it's ridiculous how long it took.
Well, see, there's downloads and streaming. Do we separate the two?
Well, I mean, it was all part of the same change, but yes, I think we separate the two. Steve Jobs took the first step with iTunes when you could buy music online. You could finally physically download it online. And I remember buying my first song online, or my first album online. And I think it was like Van Halen 1 or something. And I was like, this is so cool. I'm downloading Van Halen 1. I'm going to put it on my iPad, on my iPod, which has 500 songs on it. What? This is crazy.
4 days ago was the anniversary of a company. It's been around for 11 years. Can you guess what company this is?
So that would have been 2006.
6.
Facebook?
No.
No, Facebook's 2004.
Oh.
Twitter?
No.
No, that's 2007. Shit, I don't know.
Spotify.
Oh, wow.
Spotify's been around for 11 years in the exact same form it is right now, where they're hosting music from
always just done the same
labels,
thing.
and you can buy a subscription and listen to all the music in the world. And it's taken 11 years for it finally to come to the mainstream.
If you don't have Spotify, you'll never need to buy music again.
No.
It's literally every cut of everything.
And in April of 2006, you could have done it.
Yeah, it's like Netflix, but 10 times better.
Wow.
It's so good.
So we'll see how long.
So that's the bad news.
That's the bad news. The bad news is it took forever.
Yeah, and it takes.
It takes forever
It
because
always takes.
Here's what you have. You've got an older generation of people who are like, I've always,
by the way.
Yep. Yeah, because once you get fired from one company, you end up at the same position at the competitor.
My goal is once I'm older to not screw things up.
We have an opportunity here in the media, and I think we've taken the first step with like Sportsnet Now.
Yeah.
You know, you have a subscription. You can watch Sportsnet anywhere on anything. $25 a month.
And that idea will evolve and needs to.
For sure. But it's the first step, and that's a good step.
Yes.
And I think ESPN has comparable things. But it's so funny when you look at these layoffs because, and I think Deadspin made a good point, and we've seen, the thing is that this has been happening in Canada for years because the business is a lot smaller. So we've seen this before. It's just, this is the first time it's massively happened in the States because they were so big and so profitable.
Overshadowed by all the ESPN stuff with Shaw.
Well, hang on. Let me go with this one.
Sorry.
Lay off 100 people at ESPN.
Yes.
Let's say each of those people, which is not true, by the way, each of those people makes $1 million. So you save $100 million. Let's say each and every one of them makes $1 million flat.
Yeah.
How big is the NBA TV contract that ESPN's paying for?
No idea.
Any idea, Jesse?
It's close to $1 billion, I believe.
Oh, $1 billion?
Yeah.
It's several billion.
Oh, it's a couple billion?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
look it up. Look up that. How much are they paying for?
I know the NFL one is $8 billion. I know that.
So the Canadian NHL deal was what? $5.4 billion over 12 years?
5.2, I think.
5.2?
27?
24 billion.
24 billion.
ESPN.
Holy shit.
$24 billion.
Annually?
No. Over 8 years? 10 years?
Let me check how
it's the reason LeBron James makes $35 million a year now.
It's till 2024.
It's shorter than Mike Richards' contract with the buyout with the with the Kings.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Wow.
So that's a lot of money. Now, you save $100 million this year and every year after that you're not paying these people. Let's just say, and then I'm just rounding that number because it's easy.
And it's far less.
What is that in comparison to $24 billion? Right? So I'm not saying... For one thing. Here's what's going to have to happen. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say something?
No.
Okay.
One thing. No.
Here's what's going to have to happen. ESPN is going to have to go to these networks because $100 million, that's a couple Super Bowl ads, right? ESPN has to go to the NBA and these other things. And go, listen, eventually they will probably have to go to them and go, hey, listen, we can't keep doing this. Otherwise, you're going to sink us. We're going to have to renegotiate this contract. And the NBA is not going to like that. The NFL is not going to like that. Or they are going to have to move now to get a brand new pricing model. And that requires engaging Facebook, engaging Twitter, engaging Snapchat, engaging Instagram, and going, how can we get this out there? Because traditional cable is changing.
Or you make your own thing.
You make your own thing.
But
usually when you make your own thing, it's not as good. Especially in a big corporation like that.
Usually,
an idea like Twitter is one in a billion.
Well, no. I'm not saying sorry. I'm saying if you want to get into sports media and you want to write, for example.
Yeah.
Do your own thing. If you want to make videos, make videos. If you're thinking about maybe doing something along the lines of what I do with the Leafs, start now instead of 2 years from now because at least you'll be 2 years better.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you.
The key is this.
Harder.
The big broadcasters will figure it out because eventually there will be a new normal. But there isn't a normal right now. Right now is the change period. Right now is when you go from crawling to walking and you're stumbling. You're going to fall over on your head a few times.
Every time you meet someone from The Athletic, it's always like, how you guys doing? Because everyone wants to know how they're doing. Everyone is because what if it works?
Mm-hmm. But you never know.
Everyone's excited to see if it works.
But it could fail.
Could fail, and they know that. They started that knowing that.
But that's the thing is that the key with this is nobody knows what's going to work. And ESPN, I actually think, because they probably won't be able to go back to the NBA and go, hey, listen, we're going to renegotiate because the NBA is going to go, sorry, no. What ESPN will have to do is modernize very quickly. So they've cut 100 staff, they've saved themselves some money. Now what you have to do is go, how do we deliver this platform? And this is your chance as a consumer to tell them how. How do you want it? How do you want it? And the new way to make money is going to be literally off the internet data minutes. It's going to be your data space used.
Data minutes.
So if you're
they've already moved
bandwidth
from clicks and views to time consumed.
Yeah,
time spent on page.
They've changed that on YouTube, haven't they?
Yeah, and then watch minutes is huge on
watch
YouTube.
Minutes.
Well, it makes sense. I think YouTube counts a view after 30 seconds or something. Facebook counts it after 3.
Yeah,
which is why Facebook views
if your video's under 30 seconds, if it's 1 second, somebody views your video, then it's still a view.
That's ridiculous. That's
stupid.
The dumbest thing ever. So I made a 27-minute video the other day. Now, what if it got it's at 50,000 views?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the amount of time people spent on the video for me was very good. But what if it wasn't? What if I got 50,000 views on a 27-minute thing and they were on average for 60 seconds each? Is that a video worth advertising on?
As long as
it's at the beginning.
Don't know.
No, as long as it's at the beginning, what do they care?
That as well.
Yeah, I guess.
As long as they got that.
And the other thing is, that it's so funny that YouTube has moved to time watch. Guess what? We as the broadcasters, and I work in broadcasting, time spent listening or time spent viewing has been the most important metric for 50 years.
Well, weird.
This is not new stuff.
It's a little bit like analytics in hockey. Like there was this brand new way of looking at things, and then a few years in we went, okay, actually that's fat. That's just
we'll cut that.
We'll cut that. We'll cut that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this idea that we once thought was stupid, that was actually pretty good. So let's take that into consideration. So I think online and all those online models, they came in and were like, we know better, and just kind of ignored things. And then they went through their own growing pains and went, that was actually pretty valuable. This doesn't really make sense.
Well, why do you think the NFL has gone to Twitter and broadcast their games on Twitter now?
See, isn't that over though?
Yeah, it stopped.
Or why they did it.
Who bought the deal? Amazon?
Did Amazon buy it?
Yeah, Amazon or Yahoo? I think it was Amazon.
I think it was Amazon too.
Yeah.
Amazon's serious. Rights, They are dead serious. They've got some great programming. Like Amazon has got some Amazon streaming. Fast, man. Mozart in the Jungle's a great one. They obviously have the guys from Top Gear on that new show. I forget that's called
the Top Gear clone.
Yeah, the Grand something, the Grand Tour.
It's not actually called Top Gear?
No, because Top Gear's a BBC-owned production, but Top Gear's basically dead without them. So, because Matt LeBlanc did not fill in well for Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh, the guy from Friends?
No, the guy from Joey. Oh, from the hit show Joey.
Wait, that's who they got?
Him and Chris Evans.
Is it bad that I didn't even know that?
Chris Evans from
Superman.
No, Chris Evans. Chris Evans, who's a DJ who used to be BBC Radio 1 and is now BBC 2. Enormous name. Superman. But he was out after 1 year. Like it's a mess. It's a mess. So. Yeah, Amazon's come into play. Twitter definitely. I read an article yesterday. Twitter wants to do streaming 24/7. So whenever you log onto Twitter, there will be broadcasts available for you to watch. Twitter has never figured out a way to make money. This is their shot at it. And with the NFL games, I thought that was really interesting that Twitter did that because obviously they're going to make money off that. And they hand the analytics over to the broadcasters and the NFL, who can then pass it on to broadcasters. And problem solved.
Twitter is another one. They need to listen to their audience because they've alienated a lot of people because people were like, protect us, especially over the last year. And Twitter basically has not.
In what term?
Oh, from just like harassing accounts and shit like that.
One problem people have with like this future talk and everything, these tech companies can't make money. Like Uber's never made money. Twitter's never made money.
Yeah.
Uber never made money?
No,
not yet. They've still never turned a profit.
Yeah.
How?
They just have a bunch of investors who believe one day they will.
Mm-hmm.
The advice I was giving yesterday is get good at several things. Like you don't need to be an expert at anything really. It'd be good to have one thing where you go, this is my thing for sure. But around that, figure out how to do other skills. Mm-hmm. It will help you in the long run. And when a job pops up, you never know where. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to be your Cinderella dream job, but you jump in there and then you get experience there and you see what you can do from there. Which is, I mean, it's kind of what I've done. Like the dream was always to make YouTube videos, but for a while that just was not realistic. It wasn't realistic for anyone to pay me a full-time wage to do YouTube videos. They still don't. Like I did a job fair recently at my old high school, and the first question, like when they see YouTubers, they just go, "What do you make?" And while my income isn't YouTube, it's part of it. I make some. It's not enough to live off of though, so I had to find other ways.
Well, we all on this show have multiple jobs.
That's another thing. If you work in media, and let your parents know too, if you're trying to get into media, because a lot of parents don't understand this. It's not you might work multiple jobs, it's you have to.
Mm-hmm. And will.
And will. And have to. Mm-hmm. And will.
If there's anybody that I recommend you listening to, and I say listen to, but you can read the book, Charlemagne the God, who is one of my favorite radio personalities.
Still need to download that, yeah.
He's got a book called Black Privilege, and it is awesome. It is so good. And the key to it all is, and you got to first off, my favorite thing that he says is fuck your dreams.
Fuck your dream. Does he talk as fast as he does when he's doing Donkey of the Day?
No, not that fast. No. He actually slow. It's pretty slow, but the book is so entertaining. Fuck your dreams is the first thing he said, because if it's not your dream, then fuck your dream. And his point was I grew up as a young African American. My heroes were either in rap or were athletes. He's like, I didn't have many other places to look. He said, so naturally I wanted to become a rapper. And he said, but I was a terrible rapper. And then he said, eventually what happened was I figured out what my passion was. And he said, my passion happened to be in entertainment. Yeah. He said, but had it been in real estate or had it been in business, then I would have pursued that.
But his previous dream was someone else's dream. It wasn't his dream.
Exactly, which is why he says, fuck your dreams. And there's a bunch of other wisdom that he imparts. It's a great listen. It's like 7 hours. It's nothing.
It's nothing.
Well,
no, that is
7 hours.
Dan Carlin podcasts.
That's like 2 weeks of us.
That is 30% of the First World War, according to Dan Carlin.
It's nothing. Yeah. So it's a great listen, and it's definitely worth checking out. And he's also a believer. Like people complain about internships. He said, people have complained to me about internships. He's like, I grew up black and poor in the South. He said, I still took on an internship. And he said, so people say to me all the time, how do you take on a free internship when I already have to work 40 hours a week? And he said, well, listen, there's 168 hours in a week. 40 of them are spent doing that. And he said, I worked and I did the internship for free. And he said, I did that for months and months and months on end.
No one likes hearing that, eh?
No one likes hearing that.
No one likes hearing that.
And listen, I get that you don't like hearing it. And he does too, but he doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, no, of course not.
And that guy
talked so much shit, he almost got beat up by Birdman and did get beat up by Lil' Kim.
Wow. Hands up in this room, who's done a free internship?
Jesse? Oh, I was like,
Jesse did.
Yeah. I don't, and again, we've talked about free internships in the past. Like,
you can get abused on them, I get that.
I had an internship that, again, I love that I did it. I got amazing experience out of it. It wasn't that it paid no money. It was that it cost me money. That I think is ridiculous. I should be able to take everything to you and be like, here's what it cost me to get here today. Like, Jesus, I work for free. Can you at least pay for what it took me to get here today?
But guess what? You made it.
Yeah.
And look at you now.
I know. I did.
It's unpopular. And people do take advantage. Like, if you're there for more than 8 months and they're still not doing anything about it, then I get like, okay, I'm going to go now. Because you can't just expect someone that's going to hand you job. If they are taking advantage of you, leave.
You know, it'd be interesting. A show about the people who didn't make it. And then them giving advice on what went wrong.
That would be interesting.
I was like, wait. Now it's a show. Yes.
Do we call it here's the thing. Some of those people would give you bad
failures.
It would call it
holy shit.
I'm kidding.
Failures. Byline, what not to do.
Exactly.
Intern shit.
Has anybody chased their dreams and then they failed, obviously. But
now,
you can't hear their stories because they failed.
Do they know why, though? Do you think they know
somewhere
why?
along the line, I think they would see, okay, if I had done this differently, maybe there's a chance.
I have heard people be like, here's where I screwed up. And the more here is where I screwed up stories you hear from them, you just kind of like, oh, you're an asshole.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, those people are few and far between, but that does happen. It'd be really interesting to hear, like, someone who failed in one field, went on to another one, had some success, and went, now that I've had some success in this field, I can look back and hear all the things I did wrong.
Charlemagne. Yeah. Failed at rap.
That
failed.
Damn, did I just tease the book?
You just created it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
what about the people who failed in all fields?
I'm not sure they're going to know.
Yeah. Actually, what I find is always interesting. You know when you have someone who's popular for like a 5-year period, who does something for and then fails, and you're like, what happened? And I had somebody tell me, and I didn't ask them this, but they told me anyway. They said, listen, I really screwed up when I was your age, and here's how I screwed up. I was a gigantic asshole to people under me.
That's the most common story, isn't it? Yeah.
Be good to peeps, man. Sometimes you're going to have to say things that are unpopular, like we just did, but you also have to understand that those who are working for you and helping you are there for you, and they're there to help you. And if you're shitty to them, guess what? One day they're going to be your boss. Because they're not going to stay there forever.
To go back to the root of the conversation, this doesn't necessarily, like, we're not saying anything is any of the people who got laid off from ESPN's fault.
Oh my God, no. That's a business thing.
There are gonna be times in your life where you do everything right, and I mean everything right, and still get fired or laid off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got to bounce back.
Yeah. I read another book, and this one came from Bob McKenzie. It was a recommendation. It's called 10% Happier, and it is by the guy that does Good Morning America Weekends. And he's a meditation advocate, but he's not a guy that's into the spiritual side of it. He's just into the actual physical side of it. And what he talks about is, he said, what I figured out about life, he said, because I was racked with, he was a war correspondent. And so he was, and then he came back and he developed a cocaine habit. And that was because
detrimental.
He had found that he was at such a rush in a war zone that when he came back, he couldn't find that rush in anything except for cocaine. And then it led to him finding out he was depressed, which then led him to, and he was doing the religion beat for ABC.
He's never watched the Leafs in the third period.
I've never watched the Leafs in the third period, but would probably know something about the feeling. And what he goes on to say is that life is really not about the disaster. It's the action after, not the reaction to the disaster, the action after. Yeah. Can you pick yourself back up again?
I think the thing... one of the things I've handled the most poorly over my young career is my layoff from Leafs TV.
Really?
I took that very, very, very poorly.
Dan Harris is his name. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Sorry. Dan Harris is the name 10% Happier. Why do you feel like that?
Because I remember joking with a coworker there. I was like, well, they can't lay me off. I don't make any fucking money. I made less than the prize budget.
I make less than the prize budget. I think we've
talked about this.
Well,
the prize budget was... yeah. Unbelievable. Anyway.
Get used to making less than the prize budget if you want to be in media, by the way.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, this was shocking. And I remember it was so unexpected, and I really thought I was going somewhere. And this will all go in a book one day. But I basically... I was basically taken into a room, and here are all the things you're going to be doing this upcoming season. And it was all up. And this came after... So there was a rumor MLSE was going to get sold. Mm-hmm. Then a report came out that said... It wasn't even a report. It was a news story. MLSE will not be sold. So then I had the meeting, and they're like, so now that the future is a little more certain, next year, everything up. And then the very next week, MLSE got sold.
Rogers and Bell. And that took them right out of the broadcast game.
Yep. Same people, same room. We're so sorry. Oh, what do you mean so what's happening then?
You don't work here.
You blog once a week for realsports.ca. I took that very, very poor. I couldn't even go to Real Sports for like 2 years. I was too sad. I went to the season opening tailgate the next year and almost cried because I worked out of Real Sports every single game doing the MapleLeafs.com chats. And I couldn't go back there for like several years. That's why it was like emotional doing Maple Leaf Square because the DJ I was on stage with was the fucking DJ I hung out with.
Wow.
In the booth. DJ Docta.
I'm a big, and I don't think I've ever admitted this publicly before, but I'm a big believer in making your own breaks, right? Choosing your destiny.
Okay.
So to that point, and this company doesn't exist anymore, so I think I can say this. And if I get in trouble, so what? I was told
that is Adam's MSN status, Jesse. Like, if I get in trouble, so what?
I've been in trouble for so much worse. Yeah. I was told when I was a young man that there would be a job opening in mornings in Toronto. And if I went and trained elsewhere for that job, in 2 years I'd be back. And I said, okay. Cool, that's good with me. I will go, I will train, I will go and work my butt off for you. And we're going to get going with this. Same situation. So a year later, I come back and find out, well, I've been having troubles in that particular spot. And this will all go in a book one day, which will then probably get me into more trouble. Nobody.
I will not be writing a book for anybody who's looking to save time.
You would have the best one.
Yeah, you probably would. You'd have a good book.
100% disagree.
Just all the hot takes with Jesse Blake. It even sounds good.
Jesse gets to write the foreword to both of our books.
Jesse can write I don't know or like this person.
Yeah.
I'm just going to spit on the page and then close it, and then whoever wants to read it can read it.
He's just going to write it in emojis.
Just spit in every book.
Spitting it.
Part of the reason I had trouble, I think, was because I knew in my heart that I was good enough to do that job now. But they weren't giving it to me now because they didn't think I was ready.
Now,
let me keep going with that.
Sure.
I wasn't ready, and they were right.
This was a problem that I had for a long time.
Which you have in your early 20s. You're like, I could do it all. Well, no, I wasn't ready, man. I wasn't ready. And I only know that now 10 years in because now I know what that feels like.
This is why I don't ask for anything anymore.
No. And
I don't
so
ask for anything anymore.
So anyway, I go out there and I come back the next summer on vacation and I find out that this grand plan that they had for me, remember, highest possible person in the company that could tell me this tells me that this is the plan. General manager tells me this. Program director tells me this. These are all three people told me the same plan. The next summer I come back, plans changed. And what I was told was, well, sometimes plans change. And I said, but like I moved cities for this. Yep. I moved cities for this. But I'll tell you something. What I learned was when I moved to the new city, I wasn't ready. And I needed to fall flat on my face and be terrible again, which has happened many times in my career. And the second thing was, I said at a certain point, I was like, okay, and I was really bitter about it. I was really pissed. I was like, you guys have, like, you lied to me. Well, they didn't lie. The plan just changed. And
anything that is not on paper is bullshit.
Exactly. So what I did was, I said, well, where do I want to make my life? I want to make my life in Toronto. So all
of your friends were very appreciative of this realization.
So I walked into the office one day and said, I'm going to go back home. And that's where I want to make my life. That's where I want to start things for myself. And it was the best decision I ever made because I made it for myself. I made my own break. I got my own show at KISS and everything was great. Like it was the right thing to do. Now we've had our struggles at KISS. And I've had a couple co-hosts leave. I've had like ups and downs with ratings and that sort of thing because life is never without struggles.
Jesse's got really bad farts.
Jesse does have terrible, just BO in general, I think.
Oh wow,
that's
not true.
Wow. Scrape my name.
But you have to
leave me out of this.
You have to understand. I didn't get laid off. But I think if I'd stayed in the spot I had been in, I'd probably been laid off by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't blame anybody on that, by the way. But it is hard. I haven't been back to Calgary.
So this wasn't because Calgary's probably a little tattered for you, right?
A little bit. It's not Calgary's fault. Calgary's a great place.
Right. Also, why would you go back?
Well, I got friends there. Remember, I made friends there.
Not worth it.
Not worth it. Screw those people.
It took me like 4 years to be able to actually enjoy real sports again. It took me like a year and a half to be able to go in the door, and it took me like 4 years to actually enjoy it.
Wow. Yeah, one day I'll tell that story in greater detail, and it'll be far more interesting, I promise. But I'm protecting the innocent right now and the guilty.
Anyway, so not a whole hell of a lot of that had to do with ESPN.
Well, ESPN, okay, so they made the cuts. These people are still brilliant people that they did cut. The model, they will continue on.
That's important.
Yeah.
When you get laid off, your skills stay with you, right? So you get to pick up the pieces. You get to be the one to pick up the pieces. And while you kind of got to go where the opportunity is, you also, like some of that is up to you. Right? Mm-hmm. You get to maybe try to make your own thing. You get to work somewhere else. There are options. It always seems like there's none. At first, there are none. I guarantee you there are some. Mm-hmm. It's like Malik the other day.
Yeah.
I have nothing interesting to say. Really? Nothing?
I don't think that's
true.
Now,
how about you sit down and actually think? Oh, okay. Well, I could talk about that. Oh, okay. Well, there's this too. This we'll put in the maybes.
Or just ask. Ask other people about themselves.
Yeah.
I also want to say this. Be grateful. Every day that you get to wake up and do what you do, be grateful, enjoy it. Because I am grateful every single day that I get to do all this.
What if you don't like what you do?
Then move on to something you do.
What if you just slog it out every day until you die?
Then that's your choice, man.
It's not a good way to be.
That is your choice.
What if you're happy with that?
Well, then you just said, what if you're not happy?
No, but what if you're happy with hating what you do?
Then be grateful that you get to be happy hating what you do.
I've met those people and be happy that you have them as an example.
Yes.
Okay.
I also want to throw this out there. Very unpopular opinion and probably too soon, but Pierre LeBrun's Twitter handle is way better now.
Yeah, what is it now?
It's Pierre V. LeBrun.
Pierre V. LeBrun.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not verified.
No, verified again. He got the check mark back.
Oh, did he? I was going to say, when he got laid off from ESPN, he stopped being a person. No longer.
If you get verified, full disclosure, you can't change your name at all.
Yeah,
otherwise, Twitter will unverify you. Pierre, I want to say this too. like real _ESPN LeBron was terrible. That was just a bad Twitter handle and led to so many, like how many missed or trades that we thought were real because
look for the fucking check mark. Yeah.
Somebody apparently took the old handle and already started breaking bad trades.
That's awesome.
Well, what's great is, they could have definitely taken it seriously and just been smart insider man and broken all these crazy trades. But half of their tweets are, real ESPN LeBron liked a YouTube video, GTA 5 Crazy Tricks compilation. And it's like, can you not set it up to automatically tweet the videos you liked?
Question for you. With a guy like him, I know there was some backlash because one of his buddies tweeted.
Oh, Dreger?
Yeah.
Let's just say it.
Darren Dreger tweeted, "Oh, you'll have to go do one of your other 4 jobs," right?
Yeah.
A lot of people were upset by that, but I thought you had an interesting take on it.
That's his friend. That's his friend, and he's right.
If I got fired from something, I would expect you to say the same.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I probably wouldn't, but that's not my brand of humor.
I would.
Jesse would. That is his brand.
That's true. Good point.
I'd probably buy you a
Darren
cake.
Dreger.
Yeah.
That's his friend. Like, you don't think those guys have like drank together on the road 1,000 times?
Yeah.
Like,
I think I already got a line if Steve gets fired.
What could Steve get fired from? What he does? Like, he can't fire himself. Like I don't know, man. Steve just does Steve, man. He's cool.
Yeah, but like Sportsnet could one day be like, not for us anymore. I don't know. I hope they don't.
I don't think they will.
It's entirely possible. It's
continue being a nice gentleman, and you'll be fine.
Sometimes it's just a numbers game.
Yeah.
Well, we had to pick one, and we chose the blogger. Bye. I don't know. So, but you're right. Just be grateful every day.
Absolutely. Enjoy it every day. Now.
And work multiple jobs.
Shall we do the press conference?
No.
Oh.
If you want to do Tampa gifts.
Oh, let me get him. What?
Because Steve, we can talk about Adam's gift.
Tampa!
Yay!
All right. This is the gift. Full disclosure, I didn't even take this on the airplane. My parents drove it back up from Tampa because they just handed it to me at the game. Thanks, Corey. All right. So, shall we just pick?
Should I?
No, just it's just a bunch of free stuff, so we can all pick it out. Just pick stuff out.
Okay.
Let's describe
Adam,
what's on
I'm
here.
going to forward you a picture of your gift.
If it's a nudie, man, thank you. I'm excited. Two of you naked posing together. Pull it open. We got limited time here.
Do that.
We got a Tampa Bay Lightning hat.
Yay!
Oh, sweet.
We got
this hat collected its money and didn't play hard this year.
What the hell? Yeah.
That lunch bag collected its money and didn't play hard this year.
Tampa Bay 2016
playoffs lunch bag.
And there's something inside it, and it is, what the hell is this?
Oh, it's a racket. Like
some kind of ping pong set? Yeah!
I think that's a beach racquetball set.
Oh my god, and there's a towel. What the?
There's a lot of shit in here.
There. Oh my god!
It's not even opened.
You bought the whole thing? Tampa playoffs?
I don't think you buy that.
Go Bolts! Go Bolts!
They give you free stuff down there. Like they give you all the towels and stuff
Sunglasses
for free.
And a beer cozy.
Here, let's try to keep it all together here, because
2 more rackets.
Ooh, cell phone thingy.
I want to know how loud that is in the microphone.
I know, everybody looks
it's another one. It's another one. It's
That's another one. Holy shit, Adam. This is another one.
So I guess it's for all of us.
Should I do the book last or now?
Just do it.
Okay. We got Stories of the Game.
From Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky.
Cool.
Ooh. And we got
from Tampa Bay Lightning great Wayne Gretzky.
Yes. What is this? What are we got light up Bam Bam sticks?
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
I am fully using those in the video at some point soon. Tampa Bay Lightning magnets. Jesus, Adam. This is just to throw us off.
It's from Corey. I carry these north, man. I didn't buy them.
This is to throw us off the Habs fan smell.
Dude, I am not responsible for these. I was handed them.
What on God's green earth are these? Adam, take those.
Oh my God, they're political hockey cards.
Wait, did you?
Decision 2016 6-pack. Politics is... No, man, I told you, the Tampa gifts are not from me.
Oh.
So they're... Okay, so they got Hillary Clinton, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump. What's the not as crazy Ted Cruz version?
Mike Pence?
No, No, Mike Pence is crazier than Ted
Adam,
Cruz.
Why does this bag have a puck that we signed?
Oh, I think I put that in there.
Who are we supposed to give this to?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
We
Come on, kidding me.
Somebody caught a puck in a Leaf game. We signed it and forgot to give it back. So if you're that person, please tweet us.
What is this?
It's a schedule.
Oh, it's all the penalties, but it's their
Politics is the new sports. This is great. It says politics is the new sports on these cards.
We got a lightning schedule for this past season. That's good.
That'll be good.
It would have been good had I brought them in December the way I should have.
Go Bolts. Another one. Oh my God. Is this a signed Steven Stamkos puck?
Is it signed?
No way.
It is signed, look.
Is it a stamp
way.
It's
signature,
signed.
or is it really signed?
I don't know.
Did he really sign that? No way.
And this is just a lightning puck?
Oh,
It's a 2009-2010 puck too, when he had 54 goals.
Yeah, that was his sophomore year, I think. And we got another decision 2016 thing and a game program. 2004.
So thank you for the Tampa gifts. Jesse looks phenomenal wearing all those lunch bags.
And a Converse bag. Holy shit.
Here, we should probably clean all that up.
Yeah, we
quickly.
probably should.
Here,
Well,
grab the
because I gotta
Converse.
leave like right away.
Well, press conference, Jesse. Oh, you wait.
Gift.
My gift.
So Adam Wilde, please open your picture. It is your gift, which will arrive in the mail like 8 weeks from now, because it said when the contest closes, you'll get your gift.
Oh.
So Adam, one day on the show, on the Adam Wilde Show on Kiss 925,
Maybe you've
he
heard
brought
of
up that they're doing a Star Wars contest where you can get into the movie, and you can buy entries to get into the movie.
it. And it's for
Get
charity.
into
And
the
it's-
movie.
You get to be an extra.
You get to be an extra in the new Star Wars. So, for his birthday, I bought Adam 500 entries into the contest.
Thank you.
And it also comes with a patch,
an iron-on patch.
an
from
iron-on
BB-8.
patch when you donate. So you'll get that in the mail
Okay.
about 16 weeks from now, which is forever. But you also have 500
By the
entries.
next season.
I might be in the new Han Solo movie.
But you might be in the new Han Solo movie. So happy birthday.
That would be very cool.
That's
Thank
from-
you very much.
That's from Steve and I.
I might be in a movie with Donald Glover.
Yes,
'Cause
that's right. He's in
going
it.
to be in it, and he's going to be amazing.
He's blowing up.
Oh yeah, he's going to be Lando Calrissian. He'll be perfect. It's going to be so sick. Like
He's one of those guys I look at and I'm like, I remember your YouTube shows. I remember your YouTube sketches.
Do you think you're going to win? Because I do.
I really hope so. It fits.
No, it does not.
Oh,
Yeah.
Have nugget. No, every hat fits me like
you're
a
saying
yarmulke
it fits you like a yarmulke?
or a chipa. Adam, look at this. How do you do, fellow kids?
Get up close to the camera. Oh my god, that is bad.
Wow.
All right, can we do the press conference now?
I don't have any questions.
You don't?
No, we need to go to work.
Yeah, and you need to come downstairs. Too bad. Yeah,
Sorry, I can't.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
Yeah, Are we done?
Yeah, I think we're done. Hey,
Tampa gifts.
thanks so much for
Finally
listening.
got the damn Tampa
Good
gifts.
luck to everybody in the draft lottery this weekend. We didn't pick a team to win because we hate every city
Detroit.
other than ours. Do you think Detroit wins?
Tampa.
I'm going to say not Colorado.
Well, because last year there weren't really any crazy picks. A couple teams moved up a little bit. This year, crazy.
I hope it's Vegas.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
I hope it's Vegas, so then everybody thinks it's rigged.
I know. Right back to being rigged again.
Yeah. Oh, it's rigged. The NHL hates insert city here.
Remember when we were sitting around all last season doing the draft lottery thing on the
Isn't
website?
it great that we don't have to now?
Remember? Does that site even exist anymore? Does anybody care about it?
Still exists. Still
I
exists.
would love to
I
know.
doubt its hits are as high.
I would love to know traffic
Yeah.
into the Earth's crust.
Yep.
Anyways. Tampa.
All right, kids. Love you.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.